So here we go. It's been about a week since my last hive inspection. Let's go see how they're doing. It's been very warm out here. Very, very warm. Spring is definitely here, if not summer. So let's see how things are looking. See if there's any lizards or anything in here this time. There's not. It's good. Give them a healthy dose of smoke. I'll start from the right side again. Just pull some of these frames here in the middle and see how everything is looking. Queen shouldn't be over on this side of the box, hopefully. And I forgot my markers again to mark the queen. Some bee bread, some more nectar, looking the same as what I saw before over here. I'm really hoping to see brood outside of where they've been laying. And population should just be increasing at this point. I'm really hoping to see some brood because it's been all between these two frames, so I'm hoping to see it on the other side of these frames maybe. If not, the queen really needs to kick it into higher gear to get this colony going for springtime. So that was the super heavy honey frame that I'm thinking about moving so they don't feel like they're locked in by it. So I'm thinking about moving that over to the side. And now here's the main cluster. Be very careful not to squish anybody. All right, that's looking very healthy in terms of laying population. That's a lot of eggs and brood. That is looking very good. This side, still no eggs or brood though. Still no eggs or brood over here. But that's good. That's a lot of bees right there. Queen's not here. Check out this side. Another good amount of eggs and brood. Not as many as on the other side, but much better than what they were doing. I don't think there's any question that this colony is going to survive going forward. Oh, there's a little bee hatching right there. Just coming out. Hello, newbie. And nothing on the other side. That is disappointing. I was hoping at this point they'd be laying more. So let's check out this frame and see how it's looking, because we might go ahead and shift everything over a little bit. Oh, and there's a freaking cockroach. It's not quite enough bees to defend the whole box yet, but they're getting there. So it's looking okay. There's a lot of empty space, nectar. So I'm thinking this one can stay where it is. See what's going on in this back box here. Should be nothing. There's the queen. Why does the queen hide in weird places? Queenie, what are you doing? Get back to your home. There you go. There she goes. Going down inside the brood frames. Alright, so this one's got some honey, but some empty space too. Gonna move this one. This is a cleaner frame. I'm gonna try to force them to draw out some comb here. Yeah, let's do this. And this frame that is super heavy on honey, it's going to the sides, which is where it should be. In a brood box formation like this, solid honey frames should be at the ends. And then they should have lots of space for laying everywhere else. That's the ideal formation. So that gives them some empty frames. It moves everything sort of in the middle a little bit more. Very low beetle population. Like, I did not see any beetles in here today. Go and pull these frames on the side just to be sure. And you know what I might go ahead and do? I think I'm going to go ahead and mark the queen. So I'm going to go get my marker and be right back. So here's where my microphone came unplugged and I lost some audio. The GoPro has its own audio, but it's within a plastic shell, and it's not great. And means we got to find the queen again. Shouldn't be difficult. I put her back in these frames, so she should be here. And there she is. So this is a queen marker. Has a little foam top on sort of a plunger and a plastic door that slides down in position. The idea is you find the queen and you push this thing on top of her and slide the door down underneath her, trapping her inside. The plastic door has slots in it, but they are too big for a queen bee to fit through, like a queen excluder. So if you catch regular bees as well, they can escape. Then you use the foam plunger to push her to the surface, and she gets pressed against the door, and you can mark her back with a paint pen. So you can see here I've got her trapped, lift it up, close the door, and I've got the queen. So there's a standard for marking queens where the color corresponds to the last digit of the year in which the queen was raised. In this case, the colony decided to requeen themselves in January, so she's getting marked with a green pen for 2019. Just coming slowly. These are paint pens, so you gotta get like. So here's where things started to go very badly. This queen marker was an off-brand on Amazon. It was cheaper, but from an unknown brand compared to some of the other beekeeping equipment brands I'm familiar with, and it didn't work quite as well. You can see the phone plunger top didn't quite go all the way to the top, and I had to push down the top to hold the queen still so I could mark her. And we're about to see why that was a bad idea. So afterwards, the queen was clearly hurting and not looking great. At this point, I'm pretty upset that I might have injured her to the point that she won't lay, and the colony was looking pretty good up to now, so this could be pretty bad. I'm just really not happy with what just happened. And I open it up and dump her back into the colony. I pretty much just stare at her for a while to try to determine if she's okay. The bees around her are not going crazy. She's just kind of laying there and not looking very active. She straightens out a little bit, and then I get her out of frame, but I'm just staring at her for about a minute. After a minute, she's still not looking great. She's not walking around, so I carefully lift the frame vertically. She holds onto the frame, or other bees are holding her on at this point, and I just try to very carefully reassemble the hive and make sure that I don't do any more damage than I may have already did. All the while I'm kicking myself for being too rough and really worrying about what just happened. Once I put the hive back together, I take some time and look at the foam plunger and try to figure out why it wasn't working the way it was supposed to be working. And then after this video, I went back and actually carved away some of the plastic on the device and got the foam plunger has a little groove that it rides up and down within, and I got it to move all the way up to the top where it wasn't doing that before. So hopefully this won't be an issue going forward. And I decided to go ahead and check on the hive again in just a couple days to see if the queen's doing fine or if she's dead, and this hive might also be dead.
That is unfortunate. It's, you know, I saved money by buying sort of a knockoff one of these, but it doesn't slide as well as the ones I've seen other people use on YouTube, so, and it sort of bows out here in the middle. And so that's why even even having this pushed all the way up, I still was pressing down a little bit to keep the queen in place. And that could have been my downfall, saving an extra $5. Could have just killed the queen.
So this is me going into the hive 2 days later. Again, my audio decided to not work. But what I was trying to find was the queen still there? Was she marked? Because then I knew she was my queen and not some new queen. And could I find fresh eggs? If she had been laying within the last 24 to 48 hours and there were eggs that were not yet becoming larvae or tiny larvae, if I saw things that looked like brand new eggs, I was going to feel pretty comfortable.
Lots of nectar. Oh, what's that? No queen. Looking down. Okay, there's the queen. We have a queen. She's got a spot. She's walking around. She looks fine. Oh man, I am happy. Oh. All right, put them back together.
So I did find the queen. Queen looked good. She was off camera, and I chose to not go ahead and take up that frame and show her to the camera. Saw that she was okay. She was walking around. Called that good enough. I did a quick check on that same frame that I had been holding before. just to double check to see if I saw new eggs. Then I closed the hive back up, called that good.
New eggs, new eggs. Lots of new eggs there that are probably a day or two old. Yeah. The chances that she's laying are very good. She's alive and walking around. That's good. Okay. Close them up. Call it good. Alright, they're getting a little buzzy now. No smoke out here today, so let's close them up before they get too mad. Alrighty. Didn't kill the queen. Didn't kill the queen. Everything's good. Sorry to open you guys up. Girls up. Oh.
And here we are almost 2 weeks later, back to check on the bees again. Audio cuts out at the beginning, but then picks back up. I really need to iron out a better way to record good audio, and I'll work on that. The weather has been a bit unpredictable lately. We've had a few days of 80-degree weather, and then some quick dips back into the 30s and the 40s. So what I'm hoping to see here is, of course, the queen still alive and well, and I'd like to see eggs and brood expanding out from the small area she was laying in before, which will indicate that they're ramping up and getting ready for spring, and just an overall population increase so that I feel comfortable that this hive will survive, and I can hopefully sell it to someone.
Brood way over here. This is looking promising. Look at this. What do we got here? We have more empty space. Alright, we're going to rearrange part of this. They've expanded quite a bit in this direction anyway. Looking pretty good. So there's another empty frame. Yeah, we're going to rearrange this box now that everything is looking real good. Back here, we just got an empty frame. They'll fill that up. We can leave this empty frame here. Looks like a new bee. At first I was like, oh, is that a deformed wing? I think that's just a new bee. Come on, girls, get out of the way. That's nice and slow. Alright. Oh no.
Here's where I noticed that my microphone cable had gotten caught on one of the frames, so I go ahead and fix that, and then I've got nice audio for the rest of the video. Alright, let's keep going again. This microphone jack is just so sensitive, it doesn't want to stay in, so I just need to be mindful of the cord. Maybe I could stick over here. I don't know. I really wish I had a better audio source when I'm out here, but I don't. So I'm just recording on my phone, and then I'll splice the audio in, And if it dies, I'll have to switch to voiceover, which it very may well do. So that's a disclaimer. All right, so this is the first frame of brood. So we got a lot of brood, we got a lot of eggs, a lot of larvae. Everything's looking good here. This is a good laying pattern. Now, it might not be the best I've ever seen, but really good for how poorly this hive has done in the past. And we'll check on, so that's 1 full frame of brood, and then this should be 2 full frames of brood. And at this point, I'm looking close, getting close to the realm of selling these girls. There's our queen. She is just looking beautiful. There's more brood. This is whoa, look at that. That is some really nice laying pattern there. She has just jumped up. Wow. Everything's looking good. There's some beetle in there. Girls, you gotta do a better job of getting that beetle out of there. Well, this hive's population is about to explode with all this brood. They're going to come up to really good population levels very shortly. Come on, get out of here. We still got a lot of good brood here. Newbies hatching right now. And are those eggs? Yep, I see eggs over here. So a small frame of eggs here. And I had put this in here hoping that they would fill it up. This is an empty frame. I thought they would work on the wax, but looks like they chose to start laying in the other direction, since this one is pretty empty. So I think what we're going to do is do some rearranging here. So in a hive, you want your brood in the middle, then you want food stores out on the sides. So let's see, given the activity on this frame, I would assume they are filling this up with a decent amount of honey. It's my assumption. Well, it's pretty light. They're starting to fill it up with honey. Starting to fill it up with honey. What's back here? Just more honey. I don't see a roach again, which is good. Alright, so we're gonna take this empty one and move it over here. This has got some honey on it, and then we're gonna shift everything over to the right a little bit. So this is an empty frame, ready to go for egg laying. We'll put it right here. You know, we're only getting into the 60s at night and 80s and 70s during the day. No need to worry about warming the cluster. I think they're pretty good. And we'll put this back together. So now they have an empty, so that she's laying on this frame, and now this frame is completely empty and open, ready for laying. And we put this one back together. Let's make sure she was on here somewhere, right? Or did she migrate? I think she might have migrated. All right, well, we're just going to go slow. Make sure we don't squish anybody. I don't see her, but she's around here somewhere. All right, so laying, open for laying, And, oh, sorry, did I squeeze somebody? And this one is completely open for laying as well. So we've got just really open for laying on all sides. And then resources out towards the sides of the box, which is absolutely what they want to do normally. Everything's good. Let's give them a... Oh, looks like a burlap went out. That's odd. They're a little antsy right now. Alright, I'm going to give them like one more week and check on them again and then put them up for sale. And then they will be a nice, strong hive, almost ready for splits even. So, yeah. Gonna say that's it for today. Bees are looking excellent. They're about as strong as like a brand new nuke right now. With lots of already built comb to expand in. So, if anything, that opening might need opened a little bit more. I'm going to give them another week before I put that opening a little bit bigger. Since they did have those little beetles in there, give them a bigger entrance to defend, or a smaller entrance to defend until their population really blows up, which would be very soon. So that's it.